Hello everyone, Suraksha ma'am here. Students, today we will do a poem from First Flight book, that is a textbook in English for class 10. So by seeing this image, you can understand the title of the poem. Yes, it is Fire and Ice. So first, let's have a look on the poet of the poem. The poet of the poem is Robert Frost. Robert Frost, who is an American poet. We will have a short description of the Robert Frost. Robert Lee Frost is an American poet, was born on 26th of March in 1874 in San Francisco, California. He is highly regarded for his realistic descriptions of rural life. His work frequently employed settings from rural life in the early 20th century, using them to examine complex social and philosophical themes. So, this was the description of Robert Frost, who has also won 4 times the famous Pulitzer Prize. So, now let's start reading the poem Fire and Ice. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of it to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. Now we have two concepts here, one is fire and one is ice. The poet presents the idea that both these concepts, fire and ice, can bring the world into an ending situation. Means both of them can destroy this world. Now, some say means people say, some people opine, some people give their opinion that this world will end, means destroyed, will be destroyed by the fire. And some people also hold the opinion that the world will be destroyed by ice. From what I have tasted of desire, now the poet gives his own opinion. He says that he has tasted desire, means he has an experience of desire. Desire, who is the symbolic here, and fire symbolizes desire. I hold with those who favor fire. The poet says, yes, the fire has the capability to destroy this world because desire, hatredness, and other cruelty like emotions can also end this world. But if it had to perish twice, but the poet gives one more explanation. He says that if the world is going to be ended by these two forces, if the world has to end twice, so I think I know enough of it. Then he also presents his view that ice will also destroy this world. Ice can also destroy this world. To say that for destruction, ice is also great. Ice has the same force as the fire, and both can destroy this world. Ice here symbolizes cold hatredness, okay, insensitivity, and is also great and would suffice, and it is also sufficient to end this world. So the poet says that these two emotions that people harbor in their hearts, whether it is desire, whether it is lust, whether it is cold hatred, or it is insensitivity, both of them can destroy this world. That is why the poet is favoring both the forces here. So let's have a look on the short summary of this poem, and let's also see some literary devices used in this poem by the poet. So once again, I summarize this poem. The poet Robert Frost says that some people say that this world will be ended by fire, means desire, and some people favor the point that the world will be ended by ice, means cold hatredness. But the poet says that both of these forces have the same capacity to destroy this world, to bring the end of this world. How? Because both the emotions that are not human emotions, that are not positive human emotions, that can end this world, whether it is desire or lust, or it can be cold hatredness or insensitivity. So we must not harbor such kind of feelings in our heart. So let's now see some literary device that are used by the poet in the poem. First is enjambment. Enjambment, when an idea does not end with a line and is carried on to the next line or lines without any punctuation mark, then we say that it is the example of enzampment. Like some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. So these two lines become the example of literary device enzampment. The next one is imagery. Imagery makes a poem more picturesque and appealing. It refers to the mental picture, mental images actually, and that are evoked in the reader's mind through the use of words. Means some words can evoke, can present an image in our mind, and we can imagine and we can then use this literary device imagery in the poems. For example, here fire evokes the image of the world burning in a deadly fire, and ice an image of the world covered with fatal ice. Means both the forces are used to evoke the mental pictures that can show the readers in their mind that this world will be ended by these two forces. The next one is alliteration. It is a well-known literary device. Students, you might have learnt in your ninth standard also. Some say the world will end in fire. I hold with those who favor fire. So you can see the underlined and highlighted words, sounds. They are the example of alliteration. Alliteration is a literary device when the sounds are repeated. Some say S sound is repeated here. World will. V sound is repeated here. In the same, first sound is repeated in favor, fire. Okay. Now symbolism. Symbolism is giving words symbolic meanings that are different from literal meanings. Fire. Fire is symbolic of anger, greed, violence, and desire. It's not just the fire that cooks our food. It is the fire that symbolizes here anger, greed, violence, and desire. Okay. And ice is symbolic of indifference, insensitivity, and hatred. So these two things, fire and ice, symbolize different attitudes here. Rhyme scheme. Now let's talk about the rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is very simple. You can see, you can mark your own A, B, A, A, B, C, B, C, B. This is the rhyme scheme of this poem, and this is very good poem. So I hope you have enjoyed this poem and its explanation. So you keep reading and keep watching the videos. Thank you.